Welcome back to another episode of Front Row Cinema, a movie podcast for movie lovers by movie lovers. I am your host, Teacher Trimboli, and with me, as always, my co-host. He's taking a break from the LA cab scene tonight. I got Mr. James O'Reilly in the house.
Yeah, you're darn right I'm taking a break. It's crazy out there in the LA cab scene. You have no
I
idea what's going on.
I can imagine, man. You got Hitman out there, you got Ice out there, wildfires. You got a whole manner of shit going on out there.
Yeah. Like I said, you have no clue. You don't know what it's like. You're
You're
from the
right. You're right.
suburbs.
I only deal with our crazy New York cab scene, so I can't speak for the West Coast. And each week we take a look at a different movie from our childhood, and we see how well it's aged, along with the hype surrounding the film, its box office analysis, and legacy in the film industry. So if you enjoy this kind of content, hit that sub button on YouTube, leave that 5-star review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. It's how you help the channel grow. Jim, what are we watching tonight?
We're watching Collateral.
That is right, baby. The 2004 crime thriller, directed by Michael Mann, written by Stuart Beattie, and starring Tom Cruise and Jamie Foxx. Now we got the lovely.
Don't forget Jada, dude.
Oh yeah,
Make
yeah, and
sure you put his wife's name in your mouth.
I know better than to put his wife's name in my motherfucking mouth. I'm just not doing it. It's not gonna happen. I'll say Mark Ruffalo, but I'm not saying she who shall not be
Oh
named.
yeah, how could you leave out Mark Ruffalo too? What a
The
what a
roof.
what a oversight on your part.
The Ruffalo. I'm sorry, I was only going for top build. As you can see, Jim, on the DVD cover, only two names on there, and then Collateral. That's all we go for here. Top
Yeah,
billing.
well, that's only because Mark Ruffalo was the collateral, dude. He was the collateral damage in this whole event.
The poor Ruffalo. R.I.P. We got our lovely log line here on the back, and it reads: Vincent is a cool, calculating contract killer at the top of his game. Max is a hapless cabbie with big dreams and little to show for it. Now, Max has to transport Vincent on his next job. One night, five stops, five hits, and a getaway. And after this fateful night, neither man will ever be the same again.
I mean, true.
Yeah, they won't. I'll never be the same again afterwards. What's your memory of this, Jim? Did you see this in theaters? Was this a theater watch?
I don't know if I saw it in theaters, but this is definitely one that I used to really enjoy when it first came out.
Yeah.
And
Did
it's
you see it with
another
your
one, like,
dad
if I
or?
didn't see it in theaters with my dad, I would have watched it, like, we would have, like, rented it one day or something, or, like, bought it. Like, we would have seen this together.
Yeah, for sure. I feel that. Yeah, I can't remember. This is another one that I don't like, Born Supremacy, that I don't remember the first time I watched it. Like I know it was in high school, but I couldn't like place the era around when I watched it. But it had to have been relatively recently after the movie came out because you know me, I'm a huge Tom Cruise fan. So it stands to reason that if I was stupid enough to miss this in theaters, I wouldn't be dumb enough to watch this when it comes out on DVD.
Yeah, yeah. Just to give you some context of the era,
Okay.
it was, this came out 2 years before Michael Mann's Miami Vice.
Oh yeah, and then the world truly was never the same after that.
Right, exactly. It was a real game changer.
That really shook up the world, just like Collateral really shook up the box office. So let's cue it up, Jim. Let's dive into some box office numbers.
Numbers, dates, numbers, numbers, dates, array, dates, numbers. Show me the money.
All right. Collateral is going to open against the $65 million budget,
Yeah, all right. That's not
which
that's pretty low for a movie you got Tom Cruise in.
is it though? It feels like this movie feels like it could be shot for so much less money. Like it's really mostly like two people in it the whole time. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. It sounds very expensive. Like it feels like if this was 2025, they would shoot a comparable movie for like $5 million and call it a day. You know what I mean? Like
But also for this movie, like in 2025, like I don't, that's a sell where I don't think they'd want to give this any, they would micro budget the shit out of it. And honestly, like
that's what I'm saying.
this
Yeah.
movie feels like it was shot almost on a micro budget. Like it's very like, almost feels like home movie camera type, the way like it follows a lot of the action in this movie and like
Yeah,
around the
maybe a
scene.
little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Tom Cruise It's got to cost a pretty penny then. Do we think most of this $65 million budget probably went to Tom Cruise's paycheck then?
I mean, I don't know. I don't, like when you say most, like I don't think anybody was getting like $15 million to be in a movie in 2004. You know what I mean? Like,
You don't think Tom was commanding like 20 mil? They definitely were. Tom Hanks was making like 20 mil a movie and Julia Roberts in like the 90s.
were they?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe they were. Yeah, maybe they were. All right,
There's
so yeah, I mean, like I guess like a good chunk of it would be Tom Cruise, and like Jamie Foxx like isn't really a he's
well,
no
this is
slouch at this point either.
he's well, this Collateral comes out the same year that Ray comes out, right? Doesn't
Right,
Ray come out
right.
this year? Yeah. So
I
like this is
think
really
so.
like
Yeah.
his big coming out party as like an A-lister, I feel like. Like he'd always been around, but I feel like this and Ray, because he's gonna go on to win the Academy Award for Ray also. Like this is a big year for him.
Yeah, and maybe we'll look at him a little bit deeper a little bit later on. Maybe we'll take a look at that then.
Okay.
But for right now, Collateral is going to open against that $65 million budget. It's going to open in a weekend that we've covered, the weekend of August 6th through August 8th.
All days
So
of summer.
getting into kind of like the dog days of summer. Yeah, exactly.
Is this an odd time for this to come out?
Uh, I don't think so. Because, I mean, I guess when else would it?
I don't know. I was just posing the question.
Yeah, I don't think it is. I think it's kind of like the perfect time for it to come out.
I think it fits
Because
also.
it's, yeah, it's like, it's got some action, but it's never like too over the top. It's not really going to compete against a movie like Spider-Man or even like King Arthur. You know what I mean? Like, it's not really in the same lane as those.
Just like a
So it
solid
feels like,
thriller.
yeah, it feels like letting it out in like August to run through the fall kind of makes perfect sense to me. Yeah. And so
I
that
think
weekend
so
of
too.
August 6th through August 8th, it's going to open number one with $24.7 million. dollars.
All right, 24.7 going to put us in the 53rd spot behind Dr. Dolittle Two's 25 and ahead of Mean Girls' 24.4. I don't know if you want to open below Dr. Dolittle 2, but here we are.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. I think we're going to see kind of this unfold where I think we're going to get a good picture of exactly why August 6th through August 8th is kind of the perfect time to release this movie. Because we talk about dead spots all the time, right? And
Yeah,
January is the one we bring up a bunch.
yeah. So
The
you
only reason September is not the biggest dead spot is because January exists, but September is also a wasteland for movies. Like,
that is true. That is true. You put out a big movie Memorial Day weekend to kick off the summer, but you definitely don't put a big movie out on Labor Day to end the summer.
yeah, September is like always pretty weak, it feels like. Or at least in my brain, that's how I look at it. Like, I feel like a lot of the bad movies were coming out in September when I was going to the movies regularly. But no, I don't know. I think we're gonna see it kind of like play out here where we see exactly why September is the perfect time for this movie to be running. And my guess is it's gonna have some legs because like September is like always a wasteland. It feels like the worst movies are always coming out in September. I mean, like besides January, I guess, but whenever I'm going to the movies regularly, it feels like September is really bad. So if this is exactly what you said, which is kind of like a decent thriller, it's probably going to do pretty well up against like whatever else is out there. So let's see
Movies
how it
like
plays out, right?
AVP,
Yeah,
Anacondas,
right,
Under the
right.
Blood Orchid.
And we've seen a couple of them already, right? Exactly. So going into weekend two, this is the opening weekend of Alien versus
Also,
Predator,
it's
right?
also got to fight against the Athens Olympics.
Oh wait, yeah. When is the Athens Olympics going on? Oh my
Didn't it
God, yeah.
start this
Weekend
weekend?
two is the opening weekend of the Athens Olympics. Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
So they had to get in a week early, get what they
Yeah,
could.
how could I forget? The opening weekend of the Athens Olympics, weekend two of Collateral. Uh, and also the opening weekend of Alien versus Predator. So that one opened number one, like we spoke about. It's got 38.3. In second is The Princess Diaries 2 Royal Engagement,
Oh boy.
which, all right, fair play. Fair play.
Yeah.
With 22 point, like just a bit under 23 million. But then
Okay.
Collateral down here in third, 34.5% drop,
It's a good drop.
$16.1 million.
It's a good drop.
It's a good drop. Yeah, exactly. Like,
Anything sub 40 week over week is a good drop, especially from week one to week two, because that's where your biggest drop ends up like happening at first.
yeah, right. And then here it beats out in fourth place Yu-Gi-Oh! The movie.
Ooh, yeah, that's a big win for them.
Going on to weekend three of Collateral. 37.2% drop. It's going to be down in sixth place now, but with 10.2 million.
Another sub 40.
Yep. And so far through those first three weekends, it's now up to just a little bit under $70 million domestic.
All right. You couple that with a decent international, and you got yourself a win right there.
Yeah, and it's rolling. And I mean, it's still not done, right? So we can
Yeah.
go into weekend four. In weekend four, it's going to hold sixth place.
Okay.
36.3% drop, 6.4 million.
That's a really good hold from those 2 weeks.
It's up to,
That's a
it's up
really good
to,
hold.
it's up to 80.2 million domestic.
Okay.
Weekend five,
Yeah,
it's
you're right.
going to drop 22.5%. It's going to come in eighth place with just a little bit over 5 million. It's up to 87 million domestic.
Yeah, it's chugging along.
And now it's going to start to slow down, right? Like weekend six, Collateral's down in ninth with 2.7 million, 45.8%
It's
drop.
gonna get one more week.
And then weekend seven, yeah, it's in ninth place, 16.6% drop,
Dude, let's go.
2.3 million. It's now up to $96 million domestic.
Can we get 8? Can I see 8?
Yeah, I mean, dude, it's running. It's got legs, you know? Like it's like just like chalking up these totals, right? And then weekend eight, it's going to be down in 12th place.
Ooh.
35.9% drop, 1.5 million. And through those first 8 weeks, it's got 98.1 million domestic.
Damn. Still, 7 weeks is a very impressive run, especially in this summer that we've been in for the last couple of episodes, because not a lot of movies came to play leg wise. But this is actually going to join our movie from last week. The Bourne Supremacy also did 7 weeks. So, two big movies, two great legs here towards the end of the summer.
Yeah, absolutely. And then some totals. It's going to finish with like just a little bit. It's basically 101 million even domestic.
Okay. All right, blockbuster status.
International, yeah, it's not bad, not bad. International, it's gonna pull in 119.2 million for a worldwide total of $220.2 million.
So, yeah, dude, that's fucking win right there. 220.2, gonna put us in the number 45 spot, just behind Elf's 220.3, but ahead of the Terminal's 219.1. And yeah, with this after with a $65 million budget, like that's a win right there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
And now I'm gonna ask you a question that I think I
Okay.
know the answer to because
All
you
right.
probably read off of it earlier in the episode.
Okay.
But I posed to you and to everyone at home listening.
Was it
Did
to
you
Mitch?
own a DVD copy of Collateral?
Absolutely.
Yeah, right? I did. Yeah,
Yeah.
I totally did. I might have even had two.
Oh boy. Collaterals.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I owned the DVD and then I upgraded to the 4K when the 4K came out.
Yeah. Ah, so you own two, huh?
Yeah. Well, no, I think I sold the DVD copy.
Oh, okay.
Do not
But
no
yeah,
longer have the DVD copy.
yeah, just another movie though. Like it pulled at 220.2 million, like for the box office. But I feel like this is the kind of movie where like a lot of people bought it on DVD. I would imagine this did really well in the home video market.
But yeah, I would absolutely assume that, especially for 2004. Like this movie probably raked in. It's unfortunate that we haven't had any totals for DVD sales in a hot minute. Couldn't really find any for this.
I have a few
Sure did.
ideas on that. I have a few ideas of how I might be able to get to the bottom of that. I'll get
Okay.
back to you.
Okay. All right. You do your investigative work and you report it back to me. But this movie, not only a commercial success, critical success as well. 86% from the critics, 84% from the audience. Fucking right on point with each other. 7.5 from IMDb. Very interesting to see, though, Jim. Only a B cinema score.
Ooh,
Yeah, I did not see that coming.
that's not good. B is not good. But
Yeah,
and
B.
then that didn't. I don't know. It did pretty well in the box office though after that opening weekend, right?
So I'm shocked. But I think maybe back then the cinema score wasn't as much an indicative measure of legs at the box office as it is today. Because I think a lot of people like are much more selective about going to the movies today than they were back in the early 2000s and even before
Yeah,
that.
that makes sense.
Yeah. And then I got a couple of user reviews for you, Jim. Not as many this week because for whatever reason, people were pretty chill in these reviews. I couldn't really find too many crazy people. But
Interesting.
we managed to pull a couple out of our ass here. And we'll start with this first one-star movie. And they write, the film is based on the implausible premise that a contract killer would take a cab for the purpose of completing his assignments. As if wildly contrived and convenient plot deals didn't make it bad enough, the movie is poorly conceived and poorly executed. For example, in a large crowd scene set in a crowded, trendy club, the blood flows and the bodies fly in a terrifying shootout. Extras in the background, however, play it cool as supposedly terrifying patrons who keep a tight hold on their glasses to avoid spilling their martinis. Tom Cruise, though, looks sexy with the slick silver hair, but that's all the movie has to offer. What's more troubling than the implausible premise and absurdly convenient coincidence is the film's less than subtle racism. Whenever the black character, played by Jamie Foxx, points his gun as a white face, the victim's fear is played for laughs. You're not supposed to care, as the many Asian patrons in a crowded nightclub are caught in the crossfire. It seems calculated to promote laughing at violence as long as the victims are different than you.
Oh my God.
Man, it takes a left turn.
I mean, yeah, it took a pretty hard left turn. Although, like, I mean,
Yeah,
I will say
we're hitting all the
there was
points.
one positive at the end, which was like all roads and all signs were leading toward you ending that review with the word white. And then you didn't do that, which made it feel like it made it sting a little less somehow. But it just really felt like that's what you were saying, even if you weren't saying it, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, listen, we hit all the staples, baby. Tom Cruise is a babe.
Oh
The
yeah, we got the
wild,
babe
yeah,
too,
we
yeah.
got the babe thing. Fucking just like crazy, like overt racism for like. Did you pick up on any of that in the movie? Was that there for you at
Nope.
all watching this movie?
Nope, never even crossed my mind. Like
Like,
not a single
what?
time, actually.
Yeah, like I think the lady doth protest too much. I think that's something you were just absolutely looking for in that movie.
Yeah, what is the username on that one?
Sartorius 99.
Huh.
Yeah, we have
You
not come
think that was a
across that.
lady? Like calling Tom Cruise a babe? What do you think?
I mean, it said they said all the movie had to offer was sexy Tom Cruise with silver hair. Like you think, but I mean, yeah, I can't assume to think that it's a woman. It could be a dude.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, he's the rest of it sounds a lot like a dude. I'm just like
Huh.
the
Maybe
rest
he
of it
wanted to
sounds a
throw it.
lot like a dude.
Maybe he wanted to throw us off. It was a woman, but then she was like, "It's too obvious. Like I got to throw it off the scent." Threw in the hard, less than subtle racism at the end.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Either way, oof, you said you really had to dig for that one. It seems like
Yeah, well, no, that one was right out the gate. That was the
it's,
easy one. But
you
there,
like you started this off by saying like there wasn't really a lot of crazy ones this week, so I don't know how it's gonna be. And then you hit me with that right out of the gate. Like
oh,
that one
listen,
was pretty crazy, man. I
I
don't
said there
know.
wasn't a lot. Not that there wasn't any. Okay.
Okay, okay. Because that one was like really crazy, yeah.
Listen, there's always a diamond when you dig, Jim. But I got one last one star here worth mentioning. And they write, there is not a single good thing about this film. Tom and Jamie are miscast, as is She Who Shall Not Be Named. That's me editorializing. He wrote her name, but I'm not saying
No, you got what's her name, dude?
it.
Your mouth needs to say her name.
I can't do it, Jim. Will Smith's just gonna
Imagine,
show up and slap the shit out of
imagine
me in
he
my
just like
house.
kicks through your door right now and like slaps you in the face.
My wife's name out your fucking mouth. I'm sorry,
Like
Will.
Will Smith just becomes like Bloody Mary. Like if you say Jada Pinkett Smith, he
He
appears and
appears
slaps you.
and slaps the shit out of you. He's like the guy, what is it? Is in the Waterboy or Mr. Deeds when he makes the call and he's like, he's been using foul language in front of the ladies. And the guy, the dad takes the belt off. He's like, you've been using foul language in front of the ladies?
I think it was Mr. Deeds, right?
Yeah, that's gonna be Will Smith showing up when I say his wife's name three
Because it's like
times.
the quarterback who plays for like the
Yeah,
team he owns.
yeah.
It's like
All right, Jim. All right, Jim. I'm gonna have some courage here. Jada Pinkett Smith, Jada Pinkett Smith, Jada Pinkett Smith.
nice. Oh my
Okay, we're
God,
good.
you did
We're
it.
good.
That
We're good.
was like
We're good.
that was kind of nerve-wracking for
I
a
was.
second there.
I got a little worried for a second, but we continue here. The dialogue scenes are long, boring, and pointless. The script is a horrible piece of garbage. The acting is horrible. Tom, horrible. Jamie, horrible. Jada, awful. Predictable and cliche ridden. The fact that at this point this film has a 7.7 proves one thing beyond a shadow of a doubt. IMDb ratings are cooked. We got it, baby. This movie is a piece of crap.
Yes,
Piece of crap.
IMDb vote rigging. Yeah,
We're hitting all the highlights, baby. I would highly
not
recommend
my
this.
7-star movie.
This movie is a piece of crap, piece of crap. One is a rating that is infinitely too high, but it is the lowest IMDb allows. IMDb ought to allow a rating anywhere between -10 and 10. And if they did, you betcha this gets a -10.
Yo, I actually don't think that this guy's rating system is the worst thing I've ever heard.
You want negative integers?
Yeah, I do. I think that like there's something like there's something about that like line. Like
Sure. But man, dude, another week we hit the highlight reel, baby. Like IMDb voting rigged. Like, love to see it.
yeah, absolutely.
Then we switch it over to our tenors, Jim. And I only have one tenor because the tenors weren't really out of control or anything at all. So I had to go with this one because it was someone we haven't seen before. And it was worth talking about. And he writes, as a projectionist, I see the very best to the very worst and everything in between. So when I say that this caught me off guard as an amazing movie, I mean it. I'm watching the trailers for this movie. I decided I wanted to see it, but expected it to be the usual mediocre production, as everything else this summer, with the exception of Spider-Man 2. And I was quite a bit off guard by the outcome. The cinematography, scripting, and soundtrack were perfect. The acting, spectacular. I would even say this is a personal best for Cruise and Fox. This film is a diamond in the rough. All the films this summer seem to be running together into one big ball of crap. I would not be surprised to see these performances awarded at next year's big ceremonies. If you only see one movie this year, go see Collateral.
Man, do people like to that's such a crazy sentence to end that review with. Has anybody ever actually said that? Like just in a real like conversation or comment? It feels so canned.
Yeah, I don't know. It's also like maybe just say like if there's one movie to see this summer, maybe because you were talking about summer, but to like be like this whole entire calendar year.
Yeah, or just say, go see this movie. Why do we gotta put this
Yeah.
crazy condition on it that I'm only seeing one? Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah, no, it's always so funny how they have to make it like a point of contention that it's like the thing. Too good. But now I turn it over to us, Jim. Let's dive into this bad boy. How did you enjoy the movie Collateral?
It was interesting to go back to because I feel like I had a memory of this movie that it was like close to a 10. You know what I mean? Like that was kind of like what I remember it being, that it was like a really, really great movie, you know? Um, and like the first, that first conversation between Jamie Foxx and Jada Pinkett Smith, uh,
Boom.
the
What'd you
first
say?
conversation between them, the first conversation between them is so interesting. You know what I mean? Like that whole like back and forth they have in the cab and like the power dynamic of it that they set up in about 5 seconds by making him a cab driver and her like a sharply dressed professional, you know what I mean? Who's like got no time to tell you where she's going because she's on the phone for business. You know what I mean?
High
Like,
powered big business.
right, exactly, right? So So like they set that conversation up so beautifully. And then it is such an interesting conversation to like watch him like slowly but surely like pique her interest and then win her over, you know what I mean? Like it's so amazingly done, you know? And
Great
like
charm.
there's so what's that?
He's got great charm.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. He earns it. Yeah, and it's believable that he earned it by the end of it too, you know? Um And so, like, that's so cool. There was something so human about it that feels like it's been missing from a lot of the movies we've done recently. Um, like for sure from Alien versus Predator, right? Like,
All right, guy. Easy here, all right? We don't gonna start throwing stones like that.
for sure it was missing from the board supremacy. Like, the board supremacy wishes any scene in that movie had half as much humanity as the opening scene of Collateral. You know what I'm saying?
About anacondas, Jim. You can't possibly think that
Yeah,
it
right.
is anacondas.
Or anacondas, right? Exactly. So like I couldn't tell when I was watching it this time if it was really as amazing as I thought it was, or I was literally sitting there thinking, I'm like, is it just because I've been watching Anacondas and AVP recently that I'm like, oh my God, what a movie, you know? It's two people having a conversation and it feels like a real conversation. No way, you know? Um, but yes, like it starts so strong for me. And then I do want to get into my first fan theory at this point because I do think it's amazing how they introduced Tom Cruise as well, like in the beginning. Because I think doesn't the movie open on him in LAX?
Yeah, I believe it opens up with him showing up and retrieving a briefcase from a certain individual.
Right, from Jason Statham, right. And the first fan theory is that Jason Statham in this movie is that this movie basically exists in the same universe as the Transporter, and that Jason Statham is playing the same character in both movies.
Well, Jim, that fan theory is right up the alley of what you love so much is
Yeah.
connecting universes.
Right, because Jason Statham can't just be in two movies without us saying that they're the same universe. There's literally no evidence whatsoever for this fan theory. Like, people are just like, I think it's the same guy. Like, it's so stupid.
It's just like, in what way does it like matter or change either of those movies if that's true or not?
Right, it's so pointless. Exactly. It's so pointless. And people are just so enamored with this idea of universes that everybody's like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." Like I think that's right. Yeah. Like I
Better,
hate it so much.
the better twist is that it's actually not him from the Transporter. It's actually Jason Statham from Cellular.
It's Jason Statham from Hobbs and Shaw. It's like,
See, you see how dumb that is, people? Like,
right, exactly. It's so dumb. It doesn't make any sense. Um, yeah. So that's my first fan theory. But I do like that. I do like that opening with Tom Cruise because it's like, it's kind of. I mean, it's not subtle. It's like obvious what's happening, you know. But at the same time, you leave it with like a sense of like mystery, where you're like, ooh, like I wonder what he's up to, you know, like what's he doing tonight? Like what's up with that briefcase? It like builds a little bit of mystery, and
that's
then
why I think
after
they
you
picked
have
that's why I think they picked Jason Statham too, because it just adds to like the intrigue of like this world that they inhabit. Because now if it's like you recognize that Jason Statham, but you never see him again for the rest of this movie, that world feels so much more lived in because you're like, what the fuck, man? Like he just dropped the briefcase off and disappeared into the ether. Like the
Yeah.
hell else is going on in this world?
Yeah. Now imagine how much deeper it is if it's the same guy from the movie The Transporter.
He's got to go protect a little girl. He's off.
Right. Right. It just adds so many layers to that character when you go watch The Transporter.
Because that's
No, but
exactly what
so like,
Michael Mann was going for. He would love to be connected to Luke Besson's The Transporter.
right, right, exactly. It's so stupid, man. But no, but I do like though. Like I said, I do like the way that they set Tom Cruise up in that scene, and then how they like kind of like follow Jamie Foxx, like who's just kind of like at the airport, like to be a cab driver. And then they do that whole scene, and then they bring it back around where when he drops her off, Tom Cruise is coming out of the building and gets into his cab. Like the movie at that point, it has already set up the premise. You know what I mean? Like the second Tom Cruise gets in that cab, because in that opening, it's told us that Tom Cruise is here doing something shady. You don't know what, but like he just did like a real surreptitious like briefcase transfer at LAX. You know what I mean? Like he's up to something shady and he just got in the cab. You know what I mean? Like I feel like at that point it's on, and I feel like it's such a testament to this that it starts so fast.
Absolutely. And I think that's something this movie does really well is that it executes its premise like right off the bat within like the first couple of minutes and we're right off to the races. It's a very tightly structured script. Um,
Yeah.
and, and that is a testament to this movie. I think one thing that I won't say to the degree that it's probably career bests, but I do think this is like one of the best performances that we've seen from Tom Cruise. And I would love to see him play villains more often because he is like magnetic in this movie as that
Yeah.
calculated hitman. But like you still like him throughout this movie. Like there's never a
Yeah.
moment like I might be opposed to everything he's doing in this movie and want to see Jamie Foxx stop him, but I never hate this guy. Like their conversations throughout this movie, very much in the same way that Jamie Foxx has his interactions with Jada Pinkett Smith, are just so interesting and layered between the two of them as the like dichotomy of their experiences play off of each other where Tom Cruise is more of this go-getter in life that goes after what he wants and he's trying to like impart that on Jamie Foxx. Like throughout this entire movie, like I just get that feeling that Vincent feels bad for Jamie Foxx and all he wants to do is like help that dude like go after what he wants in life.
Right. Right. But
Oh,
the beauty of it is another thing that this movie does, which is tell you pretty early on that he's gonna kill Jamie Foxx. Like Mark Ruffalo brings up that other cab driver who like went crazy and killed a bunch of people and then killed himself. And like it's obvious when he's talking about it that Vince has done this exact thing before. You know what I mean?
well,
And so
what's yeah, go on.
that's not far into the movie either. Like they tell you early on exactly how this is going to end if it goes the way Tom Cruise wants it to go. Um, and so like what I think is so cool about it is they tell you that, and every single scene that you see Tom Cruise's character in, he is a manipulative sociopath. Like every single scene. And the reason he's so likable and the reason he seems so cool, and especially the reason he feels like he's teaching Jamie Foxx things, is because he just like is like an expert at understanding people in that cold, emotionless way and knowing exactly how to talk to them. So when it's like the asshole cab driver who's like, "Hey, what happened to my cab? You got to pay me for that windshield." He's like, "This guy's a bully. You have to stand up to bullies." You know what I mean? Like, and like he's also an asshole and he's wrong. It's like he knows exactly how to back that guy down and walk him down. You know what I mean? He does the same thing to Jamie Foxx's mom. When they're going to the hospital, he seems like the nicest guy, most respectful gentleman in the world because he knows that that's exactly how you get in the good graces of an old lady who's in the hospital. You know what I mean? Like Like you
He's
know
he's a
that that's
chameleon.
exactly what she needs to see. You know what I mean? Yeah, he's appealing to her exactly.
Yeah.
And like the cool part about it is he's doing the exact same thing to Jamie Foxx the entire movie. He sizes that guy up in about 30 seconds. And he realizes that the way that he can get to Jamie Foxx is to like question him. You know what I mean? Like press him on why he's such a loser. You know what I mean? Like get in his head and make it seem like you're teaching him how to stand up for himself because he needs to learn that. You know what I mean? Like he's just amazing at figuring out what people need and what will appeal to them and giving it to them. And it's such a cool character because of that.
Yeah, he's great. And I like that it doesn't really like give a definitive answer because it like you said, it does show that moment where Mark Ruffalo gives that thing that like this is something that he's done in the past is that he'll use cab drivers and then he'll kill them at the end to like cover his tracks. And while he's doing all of this insane manipulation, like throughout the movie, you see so many moments where like he could at any point like just kill Jamie Foxx and go on with it, but like leaves him open to keep teaching him lessons. And it does always feel like it is inevitably going to that point where like he's going to kill him. But I like that there's always feels that like little shadow of a doubt, like in the back of your mind that sits there being like, I don't know, like
Yeah.
maybe he lets him walk at the end, like if Jamie Foxx just like helps him complete this. So like it's really such a good balancing act that this movie does that like it has a great way of like leading you to the moment of where this is inevitably going, but still sowing that seed of doubt that like you're just hoping is there. It's just
Yeah.
like
And
very
I
well
mean,
structured.
yeah, and like I think that's one of the best things this movie does. Like you're touching on it right here. It does an incredible job of putting you, the audience member, in Jamie Foxx's like predicament. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he is like your audience surrogate character. And so you believe throughout the movie, maybe he'll let me go because that's exactly what he wants you to believe. You know what
Like
I mean? Like
the
because he
movies, the
needs
movie
you to
stock,
finish it.
yeah, the movie Stockholm syndromes us every step of the way.
Right.
Like,
Right. Because
it's
the only
so good.
way this like crazy plan works, and it is a crazy plan. Like the plan on its face makes no fucking sense. It seems like it'd be way easier to just kill a couple people and then like dip, you know, than
Yeah.
to like pin it all on a cab driver and drive around in a cab with a body in the trunk all night. You know what I mean? Um,
Too many
but so
variables.
like yeah, too many variables. That's a crazy plan. But the only way the plan works is if the cab driver's at every murder, he's on camera, like admitting that that's who he is. He's Vince. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then he also like kind of needs to be at the prosecutor's office. And you know, you probably kill the prosecutor and then kill Jamie Foxx. And like, it's like, okay, this guy killed everybody, then he killed himself. End of story. You know what I mean? Like, and you see in the movie like how the cops were like so ready for that to be the answer because it was the easiest answer. You know what I mean? Like it really sets up the idea that it can work, but he needs him the whole time for it to work. He needs to be there at the end. And so he like the only way he can get Jamie Foxx to the end is to convince him that maybe if he just plays along, he'll get out of it. You know, like he needs to believe that for it to work. So like yeah, and then we obviously again we're in Jamie Foxx's shoes, we're believing it too, you know? And it's like it's really well done, yeah.
Oh, it's a fantastic testament to this movie. One of the other things I love about this movie, and it's a thing that like really great movies do really well. It's something Michael Mann does very well. But there is something so aesthetically pleasing to me sometimes in a movie that really knows how to utilize its location as its own character. And I think
Yeah.
this movie works so well at using LA almost as its own living entity within the structure of this movie. And that's something he's done plenty of times because it's the same way in Heat also.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
great movies that do it make you want to watch other movies that use like a certain city or a certain place as a backdrop. Because it's just like you just get like giddy about that. And this movie like expertly does it in this movie.
Yeah, no, I mean I get it. I never really liked that terminology of like making the city a character, but like I get what you're saying though. Like LA has like a cool like noir-y kind of look to it in this movie, like throughout.
Like it's its own thing that just feels like such a part of the story that's being told.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, so like I think that is fantastic, and I know I really hyped up Tom Cruise in the beginning of this, but also special mention should absolutely go to Jamie Foxx because he also absolutely kills this movie. Like he is so good at playing characters that start off as like these really meek and defenseless, like kind of losers, but grow into such like strong, willful people by the end of it. I think specifically of this movie and Django, like they both have kind of like a similar structure where like he starts out as somebody who has no idea of like the world around him, but grows to become this powerful person that stops like an evil entity that's come into his life. It's funny that like in both times he's taking on these huge A-list stars in Tom Cruise and Leonardo DiCaprio. But like
Yeah,
he's just like he's so like his character in this movie is a really hard character to pull off like sincerely. Like it's not easy to play that kind of like lovable but like loserish person in the beginning and grow over it. And like he makes
yeah,
it look effortless.
yeah. I mean, I agree. Like he does play that character a bunch. Do you know? Do you know what movie comes to mind for me when
What?
you talk about Jamie Foxx going from a meek guy to a person who's like totally in control and like a
Let's
tough dude?
let's hear it. Which movie are you about to drop on me?
Have you ever seen the movie Held Up?
No, never even heard of it.
Dude, okay. So I gotta talk to you about Held Up.
All
And
right.
I so hold on, let me bring it up really quickly. It's a movie. Jamie Foxx is like traveling, I think, with his girlfriend, like through like kind of like the South, like the country South. And they stop at a convenience store, like a gas, like 7-Eleven kind of place, right? And they go inside, and it's like this country, like middle of nowhere convenience store. And it gets robbed by like like this brother and sister duo who are taking their brother's dead body to like bury him somewhere. And they're like robbing this convenience store. And it
Oh
just
boy.
turns into a hostage situation. That's the whole movie. They're in like a hostage situation in this convenience store.
Oh my God. Sounds
Doesn't
absurd.
that sound amazing?
Well, it depends. What year was this movie released? Because that will
It's
depend on is it a 90s movie or a 2000s movie?
it was 1999.
Okay, all right. Then yes, now it sounds great. Because in the 90s they pulled that movie off. Like later than that, like they don't know how to write that movie.
Yeah, no, and dude, the hostage situation is so great because it's like you know, like the guys who took the hostages really have no idea what they're doing. And then like the cops who show up are just these like these like country bumpkin like police officers like show up to deal with the holdup. It's so funny. Um oh, let me
Absurd.
look up Sarah Paulson's in it.
Oh my God. I'm guessing
Yeah.
she's the sister, maybe. Robs the place.
She's like one of the locals, I think.
Okay.
Jamie Foxx is the top billed character. Jake Busey's in it.
Oh boy. All right. Pack it in. We're done here.
Dude, it's a really
That's
good
enough of
movie.
that.
Yeah, it's I would definitely recommend it. But I feel like it's either Jamie Foxx or like the main character who's like the hostage guy goes through that same arc.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's a tried and tested arc.
Yeah.
And Jamie Foxx is really good at playing it. Like that's definitely that's his niche market right there because he crushes this role. And the two of
Yeah, yeah.
them together, like every scene of theirs in the cab when they're waxing poetic is just like is fantastic.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, it's great. And I mean, like, Tom Cruise really kind of shows off how much of a sociopath he is, like, with every argument he makes about, like, why he can kill people. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because none of, like, ultimately all of them are just like, because I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's really what he's saying, just like over and over, but in different, interesting ways, you know?
yeah. And I like how like along his path where he goes like I have to string him along to give him hope that he'll get out of this to keep him at each place. but at every point in time when we come across like pretty much of an obstacle, he forces Jamie Foxx to be the one almost to get them out of it. Like making Jamie Foxx have to like grow a spine by going in and pretending to be him and face these fucking high up like mafia people
Right.
and get the list is like such like a flex on like Tom Cruise's part. Like
Yeah.
it's so
Yeah.
good.
No, right. And it's like it's he's protecting himself so well, and also it plays like he's like giving Jamie Foxx like the run, you know what I mean? Um but yeah, and then it also works because Jamie Foxx does grow a backbone throughout the movie and then eventually decides to stand up to the guy. Like a couple of times he tries to run away, and it does have like the classic Tom Cruise run scene, like where he's running
Gotta have a
after him.
Tom Cruise run scene, baby.
Tom
Like
Cruise, never has a man looked so good and look running in a straight line as Tom Cruise in a movie in the 2000s.
absolute legend. Yeah, and it builds to that boiling point where Jamie Foxx will finally take control when he sees that the last person on the hit list is Jada Pinkett Smith, Jada Pinkett Smith, Jada Pinkett Smith.
Yeah, well, but he takes control before that even because he decides in the cab like, dude, like fuck it. He can't stop me. Like I'm driving. If I like get up to a certain speed, what's he gonna do? Kill me? We'll both die. You know what I mean?
More like
Um,
he's resigned after that point when Vincent gets away to kind of be like, well, all right, like he's away from me. I don't have to deal with that
No, no,
anymore.
no, yeah. I'm just saying, like, he decided to take control and it worked. And then you're right. Like, when he sees Jada Pinkett Smith as the target, he's got to, like, he's got to, like, go in, like, even harder now. You know what I mean? Like, he's like, he can't just get away. He's got to stop the guy, you know?
He can't be meek and wait for life to happen once again. Like he's got to set out and make it happen.
Yeah. Now, how long, like, how many years do you think Jamie Foxx is going to jail at the end of this movie for?
Oh, plenty of time. I think for a
Like,
good
at least,
while.
like,
Like
8, right?
yeah,
8 years?
like you could tell that whole story and they'll be like, cool story, bro. It's still accessory.
Yeah. Cool story, bro. You still like stole that cop's gun and murdered a man with it.
Yeah.
Like, probably not gonna be okay,
Not only
actually.
murdered him, just left him on the train too.
Right, right. With again a police issued weapon, like that he stole off of a police officer in a fight. Like
Yeah. You're probably
that
still
guy's
going to
going
jail
to
for a little
jail
while.
forever. Like
No,
he's
no, he's got high powered attorney on his side. Like
I know, like she's a prosecutor, but I don't know, dude. That's a tough one.
they might
That like,
like maybe be a little lenient since they're like, listen, all right, he did all that shit, but he did bring down this crazy hitman who like killed a cop also,
yeah,
and also this other one, like community service. We'll keep you out of jail. You're gonna do a bunch of community
yeah.
service.
I mean, the thing is, he does save that prosecutor's life. Yeah, that is fair. Like, that's a pretty big deal, you know?
They might be like, but listen, in the future, don't do that again. We're
Yeah,
only getting one.
absolutely. Yeah, right, right. I don't know. It's just like that was like such a crazy moment to me. Like when he like overpowered the cop and took his gun and then just like ran off.
Yeah, no, absolutely crazy. For sure. Is there anything about this movie that doesn't really hit for you?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, the whole Mark Ruffalo like
Dude,
side story like probably didn't need to exist. Like
my
I'm not really sure what that
my
was all about.
my that's the one thing from this movie that I don't really jive with either. And only because there's really no ending to it. Like we build up Mark Ruffalo as like this like cat on the trail, and then he just gets fucking killed outside the club. Like it's so anticlimactically.
Yeah, well, it's like and like the thing is it feels like he never really like accomplishes anything, right? Like
Exactly.
Mark
He's
Ruffalo
just
like never does anything in this movie. Like he kind of investigates, right? But like nothing is particularly difficult about the investigation. Like he goes to the morgue to like try and find the body and they're like, "Hey, look, there's the body." You know what I
also
mean?
like
Like
a lot of his stuff is just expository to kind of like fill us into like more
right,
of the overarching stuff that's happening in this
right. And
movie.
that's
And
what
then
I
as
was gonna
soon as we
say.
don't need that anymore, he's disposed of.
Right. It's like he's in there just to like give us exposition that they're trying to pretend isn't exposition.
Yeah.
They're like if Tom Cruise says this to Jamie Foxx, it's like blatant exposition. But if we add this useless character who's saying it so he can argue with somebody, it's like now it's like conflict. And it's like kind of, but like not really. Like he doesn't do anything.
Yeah, yeah, no, I completely agree with that. That was like the one thing in this movie that always felt like whenever he showed up that I'm like, we're just like, you're just trying to tell me things. Like, I don't
Yeah,
need any of
yeah,
this.
right. I will say though that like maybe my most fun part of watching this movie was the first like 5 minutes that Mark Ruffalo was on screen, being like, "Is that Mark Ruffalo?" Like I think that was
Yes.
Mark Ruffalo that was in this, but it kind of doesn't look like Mark Ruffalo. And then with the end of that 5 minutes was me convincing my girlfriend that it indeed was Mark Ruffalo. I kept being like, no, 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 that's him. I swear. Like I'm telling you, it's Mark Ruffalo.
It was a young man's game in 2004. It was young heartthrob Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah, we've come a long way to get to what was that movie he did with Emma Stone?
Poor things.
Poor Little Thing, Poor Things. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We've come a
Yeah,
long way to get to the Mark Ruffalo from Poor Things.
yeah, it's very true. It's been a long journey.
It's like this version of Mark Ruffalo is like the Bulbasaur Mark Ruffalo, if you will, and like Poor Things is like Blastoise Mark Ruffalo. Like he's reached like his final
I don't,
evolution.
I don't know if that evolution form tracks. Bulbasaur to Blastoise.
Oh well, you know what I'm saying. Like, all right, fine. Bulbasaur to what does he turn into?
Venusaur.
Venusaur.
Come on,
Yeah,
guy. Look like
it's
you've
like
been there before.
Venus, Venusaur Mark Ruffalo is Poor Things, and like we're still this is like still Bulbasaur Mark Ruffalo.
This is early Mark Ruffalo. He's cutting his teeth at this point. But yeah, and I don't know that I have much else to add other than that.
Yeah, I do have one more conspiracy like fan theory for the end.
All right, let's hear it. I'm ready.
So this person, this was one I think I saw it on Reddit, but I don't remember, and I'm not going to read most of it. I'm just going to give you the rundown.
Give me the liner notes.
So Vince is a hitman, right?
Okay.
And you can't just like stop being a hitman. Like, if you're a hitman, a lot of like bad people like know that you're a hitman. I think the way they phrased it, and I'm paraphrasing here, is, even your allies are dangerous when you're a hitman.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, right. So, but what if Vince wanted to stop being a hitman? How would he do it? You can't just stop being a hitman, can you?
Oh my God.
So,
You're
so
just
what
waiting
if
for the other shoe
Vince,
to drop.
yeah, what if Vince concocts a plan?
Oh my God.
A plan that involves a certain meek cab driver and convincing him to stand up for himself so that he can kill you in a train. Like,
Oh my God.
yeah. So I think you're catching on. This person thinks that Vince, like, the whole
Orchestrated
purpose,
that so that he
right, like
doesn't
his
have to
whole
be a
purpose
hitman
is to fake
anymore.
his own death so that he can not be a hitman anymore.
Like, that's all well and good, bro, but like, when do they ever hint at that ever in the movie?
No, they didn't. They didn't. And it's like another like great like there's no evidence for the fan theory. They're just saying things like they're making like wild like assumptions, right? Like I think one of the things he said was he's like, "Look, Vince has made enough money as a hitman that he doesn't need to do this anymore." And it's like, "Has he? I don't think they ever brought that up actually. Like you're just making that up."
This
Like
dude has created his own like absurd backstory to the character
right.
like,
Right. It's
before
like
we ever
it's
meet
like
him. Like,
we never once discuss like how much money Vince has or if he feels like it's enough or any of that. Like it literally never comes up once.
there's another case of somebody just being way too attached and is just like, no, but hear me out. Like this
Right,
is
right.
really what's going on.
And then like the real kicker to this master plan is that he picked the prosecutor on purpose because because you needed a prosecutor, somebody with some juice, to witness the murder so that word would spread to the fact that Vince had died.
Unbelievable. Just unbelievable.
Yeah,
Un-
it's like, dude,
Unbelievable.
it's like a It's exhibit A in my case for why fan theories need to be stopped, bro. Like they are so awful. I
Yes.
cannot stand them.
Just point to people like that whenever somebody wants to be like, why don't the movies listen to the fans? It's like, is this dumb fucking
Exactly.
tone shit like that?
Right. If they did do that in the movie, I would be so mad. I would hate it so,
Hmm.
so much. It wouldn't make any sense. Like, it's just like trying to, like, this person's trying so desperately to make this movie be more clever than it is, but like, they're not clever enough to make it more clever than it is. You know what I mean? So, like, it just ends up being so stupid, you know?
Kids just
I
picturing
don't
like
know.
the this kid's just picturing like the end of the Dark Knight Rises, like Jamie Foxx and Jada Pinkett Smith are like sitting down the coffee, and he looks over his shoulder and sees Vincent at a few tables away, just nods
Right,
a beer,
right.
just nods a beer at him and walks away.
No, no. All right. So, all right.
It's the end of
So
Shawshank Redemption. They just meet up
what
on the
if,
beach.
no, no, no. It's the same exact movie, right? Like it's like shot for shot the same movie.
Okay.
But then at the end, it just has like the same scene from that movie, Den of Thieves, where like somebody goes into a bar and Tom Cruise is just the bartender, and then they like it like does all the flashbacks to like how he set it all up.
Oh my God. Uh,
It's like 100 times worse of a movie if that happens
oh,
at
dude,
this
yeah,
point.
it's so bad at that point. Like,
Yeah.
because never mind the fact that like we've just listened to like 2 hours of like Vincent like just wax poetically about how much he loves to murder people. It's like this dude ain't in it for the money, bro. He's in it for the love
Right.
of the game.
Right, exactly. He's just good at it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And he's got to do something, you know? Like and like it probably he probably does make a lot of money doing it, you know? And like who maybe he feels like he has enough, maybe he wishes he had like twice as much, you know? We don't know. That's the point.
Point is that he's a mysterious hitman. Like we don't know anything about him other than he's fucking nuts.
Yeah. And then I got one more question.
Okay, hit me with it.
Is this movie better
If you say with Chris Evans,
with Chris Evans? Like hear me out.
who does Chris Evans play? I
I
first have to ask.
I think
If it's Jada Pinkett Smith, then yes, this movie is better with Chris
no,
Evans.
no, it's not. All right, hold on. All right. I think there's an angle there, right? Because like I do think that like one of the other pitfalls of this movie is it does like the movie magic relationship thing, where at the end of a 5 minute cab ride, like this lady's like, "Hey, let's get a drink sometime." You know what I mean? Like that would ever happen. You know what and I guess maybe it would happen. You know, um, but
Your
like
cabbie
they're
looked like
way
Jamie
too.
Foxx. It's possible.
Yeah, that's fair. But they just like he goes to such extreme lengths to save her after like a 5 minute conversation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, like there's like a lot of like love there. So what if Chris Evans does play the prosecutor, and that conversation in the cab is just like, you know, like they have like basically the same conversation, and instead of it being romantic, Chris Evans is like, "Hey, here's my card. Come for an interview Monday." Like, you know
Good
what I mean?
job.
Like something like that.
Possible.
Yeah, or like maybe he's going to invest in the limo company, you know what I mean? And then like Chris Evans is the prosecutor. I can see that. I can see that.
It could work. There's a world.
But I really
Or
think that the better answer is Chris Evans plays the Mark Ruffalo character. I think
I was
that's the better
yeah,
answer.
that was
Yeah.
gonna be my next one. I was like, or he plays the Mark Ruffalo character, and maybe we just find better ways for that to not sound as expository.
Yeah, I don't know. I just like you got to give him something to do too, but I feel like it's way better. Like I don't like Mark Ruffalo in this movie. Like beyond just like his character, I think that he's kind of like not good in it. So,
I think it meshes with what like Mark Ruffalo does well because it's like it's supposed to be like a street nosed kind of like stubborn bullish cop, and I don't really see that when I see Mark Ruffalo. It's like it just feels like miscast in a sense.
yeah, it feels like before Mark Ruffalo really like evolved into Venusaur, bro. Like before he like had his brand and like his shtick and his whole thing. Like they were like, what if we just make Mark Ruffalo kind of like a tough Mexican looking street cop? Like, what if we did that? Like,
It just doesn't mesh well. So yeah, maybe throwing Chris Evans in there because Chris Evans can play bullish. Like he could be a good dick.
Yeah, it just nothing. This isn't the best. Would this be better with Chris Evans we've had? I think it's like kind
But
of
there,
weak on the Chris Evans scale. It's no AVP.
it's no AVP, but there's a world where it works. Hey, listen, it's
All right,
2025, Jim. Like you could still play it romantic and have him play the prosecutor.
I guess so. The one-star reviews would definitely be a lot crazier.
Oh
That's
yeah,
for
dude,
sure.
the chuds would really have a lot to say then.
Yeah, they'd go bananas.
They would lose their shit.
And I don't know. I was thinking of looking at Jamie Foxx a little bit, but I don't really know that I want to.
I mean, we're gonna come
I mean,
across him plenty of
yeah,
times in the
we'll do
future.
other movies with him. Um, do we do some this or that with Hitman movies?
Oh yeah, that could work. Yeah, hit me with some Hitman movies. Let's see.
Okay, so I'm gonna start with some I have off the top of my head. Do
Okay,
you take Collateral?
I know immediately the first one you're gonna say. Go on.
Do you?
Are you going to say Glenn Powell's Hitman?
No, I was gonna say Leon the Professional. I was deciding
Ah, all
between
right.
Leon the
You were
Professional or
going.
the Hitman's Bodyguard.
All right. I thought you were gonna go for one that had Hitman in the title. That's where I thought like your brain was immediately going to go.
No, no, not quite.
You threw a curveball at me. Look at you, zigging when I zag. Damn, that's tough. I honestly only saw Leon the Professional for the first time a couple of months ago. I think I would still take Collateral. I like Leon the Professional, but that movie is like it's right on the line at times.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't seen it in a while. I saw the first like it's like 10 minutes of it maybe a few months ago, and I forgot why I didn't finish it. But yeah, I did kind of dig the first 10 minutes. I think I would
Gary
also take
Oldman,
Collateral though.
phenomenal in it, but I mean that's to be expected.
Yeah, that is fair. I would kind of agree with that. All right, so do you take Hold on. Sorry, my computer is going really slow.
I don't take.
Do you take Collateral or Bullet Train?
Ooh, I do like Bullet Train, but Collateral is the better movie.
Yeah, I'll take Collateral as well. All right, yeah, so let's do it then. Do you take Collateral or Hitman?
Collateral. I do like Hitman though. That movie was way better than I thought it would be.
I never saw the end of Hitman, but I think the first 5 minutes, I might take Hitman. I think I loved the first 45 minutes of that movie.
It's a good movie. But again, Richard Linklater, like of course it's gonna be.
Yeah. Do you take Collateral or the Hitman's Bodyguard?
Collateral. I fucking hate the Hitman's Bodyguard. I
Yeah,
hate
I
that
hate that
movie.
movie.
I hate its sequel even more. Those movies fucking suck.
I hate it so much. Yeah, I really do. Um, did you ever see that movie, The Killer?
Is that the Michael Fassbender movie?
Yeah, the Netflix one that he
Yeah.
did. Yeah,
Yeah, that movie was really good.
I would take Collateral.
I would still take Collateral, but I did really like that movie.
Let's
Right.
see.
Collateral at the top of the charts for the Hitman movies so far.
There's got to be more though. These movies. I mean, I guess yeah, I guess we could do Collateral or Hitman Agent 47.
Gee, let me think about that one. Collateral.
That makes sense.
Would you
Um,
count John Wick as a Hitman
Yeah,
movies?
that was the next one I was gonna bring up, and I was probably just gonna see if you would put any John Wick ahead of them. We don't necessarily need to go through all four of them.
Um, I don't know. It's a good question because I like all the John Wick movies. I think they're fun action movies. Really like the fourth one. I think is a fantastic like culmination of like what they were always trying to do with those movies. But like none of the acting or any scenes in it ever hit any of like the dramatic highs that a lot of the interactions in Collateral do. So I think I'd still go Collateral.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think I would take John Wick 2 over Collateral.
Okay.
Um, I think like nothing that you said is wrong. I just think like John Wick 2 is maybe the most beautifully shot like murder fest like
Yeah.
like that I've ever seen, you know what I mean?
Working
Like to the
John?
point where like yeah, right.
Yeah.
But to the point
You?
where like every time John Wick even like gets a headshot, like each one of them is like a Renaissance painting, like in that movie. You know what I'm saying? And I just think
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
really great. Like,
It's fair. It's fair.
and it all, I mean, it does have like a pretty tight story too. Like the story of John Wick 2 makes sense to me. You know, like,
No, I feel that. I feel that. You
I
remember,
guess
does this movie count? I don't, did we watch this together? That fucking horrible Mark Wahlberg movie, The Big Hit.
we did watch that together, and I've seen
Yeah.
that since. I'll
Does
easily take Collateral, but yes, he
does
is
that
like a
count?
hitman in
Right?
that
That's a
movie.
Hitman
Yes.
movie. Yeah, no, absolutely Collateral. But
That's one of the worst movies I've ever seen, The Big
yep.
Hit with Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
It's like offensive, I think, to everyone that it even exists. Like,
Yeah, that thing is
like, dude,
atrocious.
the weird relationship that this like 25-year-old hitman has with like a high school girl in that fucking movie is insane, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, absolutely nuts. I have one less Hitman movie off the top of my head. I think it might be the only one really of these Hitman movies that has the weight to topple Collateral. Do we count No Country for Old Men?
um,
Anton Chigurh,
yeah, I think you'd have to. Yeah, he's like a
absolutely a
hitman.
hitman
He's like
throughout
the
that movie.
antagonist.
Yeah, as the antagonist hunting them down. Hitman.
Um,
Yep.
yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I've got um, I've got at least one more for you.
Okay. Well, hold on, you didn't answer. Are you taking No Country or Collateral?
Oh, I mean, No Country. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. It's a pretty easy one.
I would take No Country. Yes.
Yeah. That's an easy one if both are Hitman movies. All right, let's hear what's your one more.
My one more. Do you take Collateral or
Mm.
3 Days to Kill?
It's the Kevin Costner movie, right?
Yeah, the Kevin Costner movie. Yes, that's the
Oh
one.
my God. Dude, that movie is hilariously bad in all the right ways. Collateral, absolutely.
Dude, are you sure? I think I'm taking 3 Days to Kill, man. That
That's
movie's great.
such an insane take, Jim. Like, no way. There's no way.
I haven't
There's
seen it in so
no way.
long, but I don't know, dude. I don't know.
Dude,
I think I really
dude,
loved that movie when I saw
There,
it.
there's no. All right, so that like years from now, when we get into the 2010s and we have to do that movie, we'll revisit this conversation. There's no way.
I think I'm taking
No
three
way.
days to kill, dude. I really do.
All right, people, bookmark it. Remember this clip.
Okay, but that's not my last one though. I have a couple more here.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought of another one off the top of my head that honestly I think we'll probably get to this movie soon. Do you take Collateral or do you take Mr. and Mrs. Smith? Both,
Collateral.
both Hitmen, right? Yeah, I would take Collateral too. Honestly, I can't remember. I don't. I think I only watched Mr. and Mrs. Smith one time when we watched it in theaters. So
Yeah, that's fair. Oh man, I just thought of one and then I saw it. I thought of one independently of one of the list I'm looking at, and then I saw another one in the list I'm looking at. But I can't remember the one I thought of. So I'm gonna go with this.
this guy,
Do you remember the movie Mr. Right?
Mr. Right,
Yeah, tell me you've seen Mr. Right. It's like kind of recent. It's like from 2015 or later.
2015. Hold on, let me. Oh, is that the movie with fucking Sam Rockwell?
Yes, it's Sam Rockwell and Anna Kendrick. Yeah.
Yes, I did. I did watch this movie.
And he plays like a hitman and she like falls in love with him, but he's trying to like hide the fact that he's a hitman the whole movie. It's so good.
Yeah. Yes, I do remember this movie. Entertaining, but Collateral.
Yeah, yeah, Collateral for sure.
Yeah.
All right. So
Wow.
then
See, dude,
the other
that's a
one I thought
perfect
of.
example of like why the streaming model like is just garbage because movies just don't stay in like people's minds at all. Like you just immediately forget that you've like ingested this. It's just like content to just be fucking consumed.
Yeah, right, right. It's a very forgettable movie. Yeah, like it sure is.
Do you have any others?
Yeah. Do you take Collateral or In Bruges?
Oh, dude. Wow, that's a good one. That one comes to play.
It's tough,
Fuck,
right? It's tough.
dude, that one's tough. Oh, dude. That might be like the first really hard one we've gotten here. Think I gotta take In Bruges.
Yeah, I think
That
I
movie,
probably would as well.
that movie's so fucking good. Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna take In Bruges. Wow. I didn't think we'd find another one outside of No Country for Old Men, but damn. Good call.
Oh God, how can I forget about this movie? Dude,
Oh
talk
boy.
about
Here,
forgettable content.
here we go.
Do you take Collateral or the John Cusack vehicle?
You say
Gross
Gross Point
Point
Blank?
Blank.
Nope, definitely not taking that one.
What a hitman movie though, dude.
Yeah. Hilarious. Collateral. Do the Equalizer movies count as Hitman movies?
No, he's not a hitman. He's like a Jason Bourne. And like Jason Bourne's kind of a hitman, but it's different when you're like a CIA agent, I think.
So yeah, that's what I think too. I would agree with that. Another questionable one. Do we think Looper is a Hitman movie?
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Definitely. It definitely
Definitely. Yeah.
definitely
It's just
Hitman.
it's like an interesting hitman movie. It's like a little bit out there, but yeah, it is.
Yeah. All right. What are you taking?
I would take Looper.
I would also take Looper. That movie was very,
Looper Looper is too legit, man.
yeah.
It's too
Although
good.
although don't ask the Chuds. Isn't that a Rian Johnson movie, The Enemy?
Oh yeah, they probably hate it. Dude, how can it there is so many Hitman movies. How did we almost stop this like go through?
Yeah, it's
Looper,
I found one that has like a top 20 and like so many more are coming to like the forefront now.
yeah. So there's two more that I have.
Okay, let's see if they're the
And
ones
then
that
you
if
know
there's
what?
the one I got.
Three more, and the third one is a silly one.
Okay.
So I
Let's hear it.
got, do you take Collateral or Wanted?
Oh, I'd Collateral. Fucking Wanted is absurd.
Yeah, I would take Collateral too. Although Wanted is like it is like a real like guilty pleasure movie for
No,
me. When he
no,
does that whole
that's
raid at the end, it's so good.
yeah, no, that's a fun, entertaining movie, but like I wouldn't say that's not a good movie. It's fucking bullet time. They fucking just end the bullets.
Yeah, they like curve it, yeah. And then like dude, they like introduce the curving of bullets as a concept. And then Angelina Jolie does one of the craziest things I've ever seen in any movie, where she gets everybody in a circle and she curves a bullet around, like in a perfect circle, and shoots like 10 people in the head in like one shot. It's so crazy.
Absurd. Absolutely absurd, that movie.
Do you take Collateral or the Sylvester Stallone vehicle? And I think it's Antonio Banderas is the other guy.
Assassins?
Assassins, yeah.
Dude, Assassins is pretty legit, man.
I know.
That movie's
I
fucking
know.
legit, bro. I
Dude,
think
we
I would
left
take
out.
Assassins, dude.
I think I would take Assassins too. Yeah, I think I
Oh,
might.
oh yeah. No, yeah, I think I would take that one. That movie's legit. The 90s, baby, man. We just knew how to make movies in the 90s.
Yeah, the big hit was such a pull. Like that was in the 90s. Not that one though. That one was pretty terrible.
All right, you say you had a silly one?
Yeah, do you
Honestly, the
take
fact that Wanted wasn't the silly one is.
no. Do you take Collateral or Assassin's Creed?
Oh God, just fuck you. That's enough
Dude, I
out of you.
remember I went to the movies with my older brother, like my oldest brother, for the first time in like probably like a decade. And for some reason, we went and saw Assassin's Creed, and at the end, we were both like, "What the fuck was that?" Like that was so bad. And we've never been to the movies together since. That was the last movie we saw together.
Man, or Michael Fassbender after that. That was a tough one. All right, Jim, I got one for you. Collateral or Road to Perdition?
Oh. See now, is he like a hitman in that movie? Was that like his job?
Yes.
Okay. I thought he was just like a muscle kind of guy.
He
I
was
guess it's like kind of six one way, half
looking
dozen
at
the
him, yeah,
other.
he's a mob. He was a mob hitman that has to go on the run with his son.
Um, yeah, I would take Road to Perdition, obviously.
Yeah, Road to Perdition is like legit insane. This, all right, this movie, this list is getting a little absurd. They say number four on Collider's top 20 Hitman movies, Kill Bill Volume One.
That's
What?
it. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. I mean, like it's. I don't know if it's as much a hitman movie as a lot of the ones we talked about. Like so much as there's like a hitman, like the people in it like used to be hitmen.
Yeah,
You know
but it
what I
seems
mean?
it's
Like,
more like yeah, it's more like a tale of revenge, like after the fact. Like they're not really like being hired to be hitman at all in the movies.
yeah, but if John Wick counts, I think Kill Bill's got to count.
All right, that's fair. I mean, I think we know the obvious answer to that one then. And then my final one, obviously not all of the movie is a hitman, but two of the characters very much hitmen in it. Collateral or Pulp Fiction.
Mm. I would take Pulp Fiction.
I would also take Pulp Fiction.
All right,
But
I got two more.
oh, all right, let's hear. All right, two more, and then we'll because
Last two, I
that's a lot.
promise.
That's a
Last
lot.
two.
All right, let's hear them. I swear to
Do
God, they're
you,
fucking silly again.
do you take Collateral or Lucky Number 11?
For God's sakes, bro. I shouldn't even let you say the next one.
They're hitmen. They're hitmen in that. They're like
That,
hitmen actively involved in a criminal underworld.
yeah, no, that movie is fucking atrocious. Like, wasn't that movie
I
like
like it.
wasn't that movie like a good reason for why we didn't see Josh Hartnett for a while?
Yeah, probably.
All right,
And
what's
then the
what's your
last
last one?
one. Yeah, the last one, an oldie but a goodie. Rest in peace, Matthew Perry.
Oh
Do you
God damn
take
it!
Collateral
The
or
whole
the
nine
whole
yards.
9 yards?
I don't hate that movie. I like I that's a solid movie, but nowhere near in contention with some of these great ones we've been talking about. It's
I'm just
really
saying, did
cool.
they ever make a sequel to Collateral? Did they?
This is true. There is the whole 10 yards.
Collateral didn't even have a number in it that they could just add one to for the sequel. Is it really better?
Yeah. Unfortunately, we won't see the whole 11 yards. So all of them are dead.
Yeah, yeah, that is unfortunate.
It's crazy. Yeah, both of them. Him and Michael Clark Duncan.
Yeah,
Wow.
crazy.
Wow. Way to really
The whole 9 yards curse.
yeah. Way to really sour us here in the end, Jim.
Yeah. Well, hey, listen, you were the one who brought it up. I just gave a very simple but heartfelt tribute to Matthew Perry. You're the one who made the tasteless joke about the whole 11 yards.
You're right, man. What was I thinking? I'd be so crass. Let's speaking of crass, I would really love to see Raj's take on this, Jim. What kind of drop you feeling? Where do you think Raj would fall on this?
I'm Roger Ebert. Been a scene from the best film of the decade. This is a great film.
Wow, for once in what feels like such a long time, we're finally lockstep in with Roger Ebert once again. He
Yeah.
gave this movie 3.5 stars, saying Mann's direction and insightful dialogue elevated Collateral above its genre roots. He also praises the performances of Cruise and Fox, calling Fox's dramatic performance a revelation. Big praise from the Ebes. So now I turn it over to you, Jim. Let's see that final thought, final rating for Collateral.
Uh, I would give it a 4 out of 5. I think it's a pretty good movie.
Yeah, I think in the first time in a minute, we're going to be also in lockstep again. I'm also going to give this bad boy a 4. Super enjoyable, fun ride. Two powerhouse performances. Super enjoyable. So double fours is going to take us to an 8. It's been a while since we've done battles so high up, Jim. We've sunk down into the depths of the ones and the twos for so long. Feels
Yeah,
amazing to be back up in the eights. So let's do some battle with the eights. So our first battle, Jim, do you take Collateral or do you take Old School?
Collateral.
We would also take Collateral. Do we take Collateral or do we take Shrek 2?
Collateral.
I would also take Collateral. Do we take Collateral or do we take Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets?
Wow, a lot of sequels so far.
Yeah. It makes it past this one, Jim. I don't think it's touching your next movie, but let's see what your thought is here.
I think I would say, oh, that's so close, dude. You go first on this one. I want to see what you think.
I would take Collateral. You know me. I don't have as much love for the Harry Potter movies as you do. I do think it is really close though. But like the Harry Potter movie is still really good. I think Collateral is more though what I like in the movie. So I would go Collateral.
Yeah. I think I would also go Collateral, if only because the way you just said how I feel about the Harry Potter movies, as if I know like what house I'm in, and like and, like that one cut deep. So I'm gonna take
No,
Collateral just to get defensive.
I only mean in the sense that of the movies, you have been very high up on the movies that we've done so far.
Yeah, I think
I
the
don't mean
first
to
three
paint
are
a
really
picture
good.
here. Yeah.
Before you say that I love the Harry Potter movies, maybe you should see what I'm gonna rate 4, 5, and 6 first.
All right, listen here, you Hufflepuff. All right, let's dial it down a notch. All right, Jim. Now let's see if this is the apex or will Collateral continue the climb. Do we take Collateral or 2003's Seabiscuit?
It can't beat Seabiscuit, I don't think. Yeah, I think you're right. I think Seabiscuit is a superior film.
Yeah, I think I would take Seabiscuit also. But like beautiful, beautiful company right there to be slotting in between. So it makes the top 20. It's going to slot in at the number 20 spot in between Seabiscuit and Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. But we've got a couple of more eights here, Jim. Do you take Collateral or Troy?
Did we put Troy ahead of Seabiscuit?
Yes, yes, we did.
What
You're goddamn
were we,
right we did.
what were we thinking?
We're thinking that Troy is a goddamn epic.
I would take Troy over Collateral though, yeah.
Yeah, I would take Troy also. Do you take Collateral or How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days?
How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, yeah.
Yes, also, I agree with that one. Two more eights. Do we take Collateral or Signs?
Signs.
Beautiful. And then still king of the eights. Do we take Collateral or A Knight's Tale?
Dude, what? How on earth is that still the king of the eights? I'll tell you how, because I'm always gonna take A Knight's Tale.
Well, you have your answer right there. Yeah, I think I
Yeah,
would, I would, I think I'd still take A Knight's Tale also. The movie just speaks to the heart. But still, good spot for Collateral. I think it was. I'm glad that we did the pivot and opened the forum up to just doing as many movies as we want week to week from the
yeah,
2000s.
this is way more fun. Like
Yeah,
it's way
because it
more
was
fun
great
than
to
like
watch this movie.
watching like 10 really good movies go by while I go through the box office of Alien versus Predator, and
Yeah,
then like the next episode is Anacondas. It's way better than that. Like,
no, and it's great to get to spruce it up and do good movies as well as doing all of the stupid movies that we saw when we were kids. Because we saw a lot of stupid movies, and you were right. It was painful doing like 5, 6 episodes in a row of watching just slop
yeah.
and
Well, it
just
wasn't that the problem wasn't that you saw a lot of stupid movies. It's that you, at this point in time, were seeing almost exclusively stupid movies.
exactly, exactly.
Like you went months where all you saw was stupid movies.
Exactly. So it's nice that we made this pivot where we're gonna do a bit of everything. So this was good. Did we make a decision on what we're doing next? Because obviously the next movie after Collateral we've already done. It would have been Alien versus Predator. The next one
Right.
after that I think was Anacondas, so we already would have done that. I believe the picks that we were up to it was going to either be Jet Li's Hero or Cellular.
Okay.
I think Hero came out
Um,
first, and I know you
so
said we really wanted to do Hero. So,
I would like to do Hero,
all right.
yes. I
So,
also want to throw a movie here into the ring for a little bit. We have quite the opening weekend here.
okay.
September 17th through the 19th of 2004.
Yeah, but isn't that after both Hero and Cellular?
Yeah, no, so we should do those two next. Yeah, Hero,
Okay,
then
okay, okay,
Cellular.
okay, okay.
Then I want to like figure out this third one right here, right?
Okay. Oh,
Opening weekend of September 17th through the 19th. There's three movies that open in the top five.
okay.
Number one, Sky Captain in the World of Tomorrow.
Oh, Jim, I saw that in theaters, so we'll be doing that one.
Okay. Number two, the Bernie Mac vehicle, Mr. 3000.
Ooh, I did not see that in theaters, but I have no issues doing that movie.
And then number four, um, arguably the best romantic movie of the aughts.
Okay.
2004's Wimbledon.
Ooh, Jim, I actually have never seen Wimbledon, so I am absolutely down because that would be a first time watch for me.
Okay. Yeah, I think so we should do that. I think we should
Okay.
do
So before that, before we get to that, I'm down to do all three of those movies. But before we get to that, the week before that, where we would also do Cellular, Resident Evil Apocalypse came out, and I did see that in theaters, so we have to do that one as well.
okay, so we got the next like five or so like plotted
Yeah,
out though.
but
This is
that's good. Yeah, we have a roadmap now, so that's good. So for next episode, we got Hero, then Cellular and Resident Evil are on deck, and then after that, we do that epic weekend, and we'll bang all those out.
yeah, yeah.
Beautiful. I
Sounds
love it.
good.
Awesome. There we go. So that's a plan. You heard it here, folks. You got a lot of epic stuff to look forward to here on the podcast. What was the last thing you jammed on?
Um I'm trying to think. I haven't really been watching a lot of TV recently. I guess like I've been going back and listening to a podcast that hasn't been on the air for a while, but that I used to listen to a bunch. Have you ever listened to Dan Harmon's podcast Harmontown?
No.
It is like one of the stupidest shows like I've ever seen. Like, but it's really funny. And I've been listening to a lot of Harmontown recently. I've been going through old episodes of that.
Gotcha. Very cool. Yeah, no, until we started doing ours, and then I started listening to them to kind of like help learn how to do this ourselves. I never really listened to podcasts ever. I
Yeah.
was always just like a music guy in the car. But once we started doing this, and I realized like I should probably listen to some podcasts and kind of see like what like how it goes. I did start listening to more, but I haven't really branched out to like a lot of podcasts. So
Yeah.
I'll always take
It's an old
recommendations.
podcast he made like right in the middle of like Community's run and he gets fired like kind of early on.
Yeah.
And then it goes on like Rick and Morty's on the air. Like it's kind of like the peak of like Dan Harmon and he's like has a podcast and it's like the way I would put it is it's like watching like a guy who is like again like at his peak just completely unravel. Like
Oh, man.
it's like
It's
it's like one of the most interesting things I've ever seen, honestly. Like and like I think he's obviously doing good now. Like he's I feel like from what I understand, like he's got it all together now and he's like, you know, on like a bunch of successful shows still.
yeah, like he
But
recovered.
he is like a drunk when they're recording the show, like and like pretty openly a drunk. You know what I mean? Like he's like constantly like just going into like streams of consciousness about like about like the situation like with his job and like season 4 of Community and like And then all at the same time, he's dating a girl who he's eventually gonna marry and then eventually have like a divorce with, like all in a matter of like a couple of years. And it's like the beginning of their relationship is happening in the episodes of Harmontown I'm listening to. And it's like the whole show is like a goddamn train wreck that I can't look away from. It's so much fun.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like car crash television right there.
Yeah, yeah, you should go, like, just listen to, like, a couple episodes of Harmontown, and I might even pick, like, one and I'll send it to you, just to be like, this is, like, the perfect example of, like,
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
talking about.
send me something and I'll check that out because that does sound like absolutely wild to like listen to.
Yeah. What about you? What have you been jamming on?
The last thing I watched, actually with my dad, we watched. I just got they released it in 4K, the first Lethal Weapon. So I got yeah,
Oh,
yeah. So I upgraded Lethal Weapon to 4K, and we watched that together, and still holds up, man. That movie
I
is
can
bad.
I can hear the saxophone music blaring.
Yeah, it's so good. Yeah, the saxophone blaring for Riggs and no for Murtaugh and the fucking smooth guitar for Riggs, just like wild electric.
Yeah, that movie is really good. It's
Yeah,
like
that
really,
movie.
really good.
Yeah, that movie is fantastic and just a lot of fun, and it was great to go back and watch after a while. So absolute classic. But there you go, people. Check out those movies for yourself. As always, form your own opinions for these bad boys. Make sure you join us here next week when we dive into Jet Li's Hero. And as always, see you at the movies.